Andrew, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Andrew Hoppermail, and I spent the last 11 years coaching collegiate basketball at the Division I and the Division III levels here in the Boston area.
Awesome. So when should prospective student athletes start reaching out and getting in touch with coaches?
I think that, it's somewhat sport specific, but general rule of thumb is, your junior year, you definitely want to begin having those conversations with coaches if you're interested in playing sports at the college level.
Now, should they call or email?
I personally think that email is probably the best option for you, just because call-in's kind of hit or miss, whether the coach is going to be at their desk or at practice or on the road recruiting. But we all get emails to our phones, so if you send an email, we're pretty much guaranteed that we'll see it. It'll come across our desk.
What about the frequency? How often should students reach out to coaches?
I think that, again, it kind of depends on where you are in the cycle, but early on, after you send that introduction email, I wouldn't, follow up immediately unless the coach reaches back out to you. I would give it, a month or two before you reach back out, or maybe have your high school coach or a club coach, send a follow-up email on your behalf.
Awesome. Now, if a student athlete is debating whether they should play a collegiate sport, what are some things that they should consider, including pros and cons to being a student athlete?
Yeah, well, I think if you're debating whether or not to play a collegiate sport, to begin with, you're probably looking at a small college, like a Division III type school. So my personal suggestion would be to reach out to the coach anyways, begin to develop that relationship, and if you decide not to play, then you decide not to play. But it gives you an added resource to help guide you through the admissions process, and once you're on campus as well. And then obviously I'm a little bit biased because I did spend the last 11 years coaching, but I firmly believe that being a student athlete provides you with a lot of resources throughout your college career, and even in your post-college career, they'll be beneficial, be it the alumni network within the team, the fact that you have a mentor that, and a coach that's been at the school that has relationships that, you can capitalize on both academically and socially.
Now, how have you seen college athletic recruiting specifically change during COVID?
Yeah, so obviously the last year has been really trying for coaches as, we try to evaluate players and student athletes and, go through the recruiting cycle. Much like everything else with the admissions process, it's gone to a virtual world where, we're relying heavily on electronic communications and a lot less face-to-face meetings than we've had in the past.
Now, what should student athletes or prospective student athletes be considering, both from a sport and academic standpoint, when visiting colleges, either virtually or in person?
Yeah, so I think that the biggest thing going through the recruiting cycle for a student athlete, again, at the small college level mostly, would be to walk on campus or go through the virtual visits and really picture, could you see yourself at that school if athletics wasn't an option? If you'd be happy going to that school and not playing a sport, then it's the right school for you to go to. And then the ability to play the sport is kind of just the cherry on top, if you will.
Awesome. That's it.